Alright, what is up my ninjas? I'm Strydent and welcome to a quick video. What I wanted to do real quick was talk about the alien queen from Lanard. And I can't find my pointer. Oh, here it is. Jesus. Yeah, as you can see, my whole space is just full of stuff. I'll move back a little so you can see that. Look at that. Jesus, man. This is like a big mess. Gotta have my pistachios, but big mess. Yeah, I am about to review my Mezco Catwoman. She's not here. She's actually in the this older Batmobile with Batman. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be doing that soon. I got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, so I figured, hey, why don't I just do a quick review of these things? Okay, so I fixed that crisis, but as you can see, I have a mess. I am trying to drop down the amount of things that I am working on at any given time, and right now I am still working on a number of reviews. Like I told you, Guts, I'm working on this, yeah, I moved around some things in the man cave, but I'm waiting to see more interest. As usual, a couple people said they were interested and then everybody else kind of petered off. You know, like I said, if the interest is up, I will definitely do a tour. And but if not, I'm not even going to go through, you know, moving all that stuff around. These videos take work, so, you know, I need the interest to be there to make it worthwhile. But anyway, xenomorphs galore. These are a mixture, of course, mostly NECA, and then a few of them, mostly NECA, and then we have the Lanard one in the center. This here is what I wanted to talk about, though, because it is a great figure. Lanard did a really good job. I mean, it's not the NECA Alien Queen by any means. It's not. So don't even go into this thinking that that's the quality, that's the bar that we're reaching. You know, it's a different level of quality in that sense. This is like the kind of quality that we can play with, you know. It's not the kind of quality that, you know, you put up on a shelf and you just marvel at it, unless you're into the Kenner alien stuff like I am. So for me, my collection is a little mixture of, you know, NECA, Kenner, and then this Lanard aliens. Now the Alien Queen from Kenner was pretty whack. It was just really generic, and it wasn't even really that big. Hold on and I'll get it. Alright, so here is the tail of the tape. You can see there's Ripley. Actually, use the pointer so you don't have to see my fingers. Here's Ripley, Apone, Kenner Queen, Lanard Queen. So you can see there's a nice variety. It's good enough also that you could even just utilize them as just more xenomorphs. You know what I'm saying? If you have more Kenner xenomorphs, they're just smaller ones to annoy your people. And if you're using these guys, you can use these guys, or you could use the cool, NECA ones. This isn't a review of them, even though I do have the NECA ones. You've seen them before. I've posted them on Facebook. And I may have even posted them on Instagram, but I'm pretty sure I did on Facebook. But anyway, that's not the point. That was just for comparison's sake. I might talk about them in more detail at a later date. But the focus here is this big girl right there. Things to point out. Articulated tiny hands. They're all like, all arthritic and whatnot. I'll move her a little bit closer so you can see that. Look at that. Gangly hands. That right here. It's really well sculpted. I thought I wasn't going to like the sculpt. I like it. The tail is it's not bendable, but you can twist it. And I got to hurry up and do this and just clear this shit off and get back to what I was doing before, because man, I'm annoying myself with the amount of shit that's here. But the tail's really long. I mean, you can see it's several inches from, you know, it's got to be at least 12 inches from, you know, her head to tail. And I do have my tape measure, my freaking ruler. So give me a second, I will measure that for you. This was very spur of the moment. I wasn't really like focused on that. So from the tip of her head to her tail. Oh man, I was not set up for this. Let's do it this way. Tip of her head to her tail is about 14 inches. Holy shit. It's about 14.5 inches. So she's not short, or, you know, she's tall. And then from the ground to the top of her head, she's about 12.5, well, a little under 12.5 inches. So she's pretty damn tall. They did a good job. And I mean, she scales really well as a queen compared to like your other Aliens figures, because, you know, the queen is supposed to be ginormous. She also scales really well compared to your Predator figures. So in the event that Scar runs into, you know, the queen, and you want to relive that moment from Aliens versus Predator, you know, because there were some cool fights, don't get me wrong. Movie is kind of but cool fights, cool battles. You can have those two square off. And I mean, the size difference is pretty substantial. I mean, take a look. Pretty substantial. So I like what they've done here. Now real quick, I'm going to move him out the way, and then we're going to go over her articulation, and then I'm out. So I've already showed you the tail can twist 2 points because you put it together. Her legs are single joints. Like that. The hands themselves, let me zoom back out. Sorry, I'm using my phone today. For this part, you know, it's a little faster. So these arms here only move up and down and swivel. It's kind of like a universal shoulder joint type deal, which is pretty cool. Same thing with this, the bigger arms. It's a universal. It's kind of slightly ratcheted, but then it bends at the elbow and straightens. And then she does not have any wrist articulation. Those don't move at all. The head, it can move up and down, but when you do it, that's when the mouth comes out. Of course. I knew that was going to happen at some point because of how tall how long her tail is. But let's look at this face. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the jaw itself is articulated, so you can close that. The head can swivel, as you've seen. So all in all, I mean, for just a big-ass creature, they did the damn thing, you know? They're doing the Lord's work, as Kevin Smith would say. It's good shit. I'm impressed that they even bothered. You know what I mean? Because, like, who would have thought Lanard would be doing a fucking Aliens line? You know, of all the people to do an Aliens line with NECA out there doing alien stuff, who'd have thunk that these guys would have existed ever? You know, I would have never thought that would have been a thing. So I'm pretty glad to have her. She fits really well with the others. Okay, so as I was saying, who would have thought that Lanard would have even bothered with this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Now, the others, I can't really say they're worth it. The others are kind of shitty. I mean, there's a crawler like this one, but she's red, or he's red, it's red. Then there's like a yellow warrior alien. It's like, just go find the NECA ones. I mean, if you want to introduce your kids to the world of aliens, I guess, then do that. But then invest in the Kenner Space Marine, so they have something to fight. You can just buy Hicks and Hudson over and over and over, I guess. You know, I don't know. Or Hicks, Hudson, and O'Malley, so you have straight up Marines, and then definitely get a Vasquez to be in there, and you got to have Ripley in the mix. I would say just get all of them. You can get them for cheap. I think I paid less than $20 for all the ones we got. But yeah, that's really it for her. I mean, she's very simple and straightforward in a classic style of action figure. If you're older than 30 years old, or at least 30, you remember when toys used to be like this. $20, and it dwarfs everything else that we get. And it's just very straightforward with a very simple gimmick. And yeah, lots of play, you know, potential. It's not going to break if it falls off your shelf, which is always a gift, because a lot of figures these days are very, very fragile, but they cost so much money that it doesn't make sense. So keep that in mind. But yeah, other than that, that has been the Lanard Alien Queen. Definitely worth a purchase if you like to play with your figures. If you've got little, you know, soldier type dudes like these guys, then that's perfect, because I mean, look at the scale of these guys compared to them. It almost looks like a first-person shooter. But you know, it looks like these guys would be fighting these giant monsters, you know what I mean? And then look at him compared to that queen. It's awesome. So yeah, I say, you know, seal of approval from me. Get them. You won't be sorry. You'll probably enjoy the fuck out of them if you play with your toys. And that's it for me. You guys have been great. Peace outside.